Great weekend of sports in New York for most of you, as the New York Jets put a bumping on Miami, scoring 40 points. Of course, the New York Giants do the unthinkable, down double digits in London, come all the way back and beat the Green Bay Packers to match the Dallas Cowboys. 4-1 now in the NFC East, the best division of football. And really just a great weekend all around. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
The Mets are an embarrassment.
Oh, I forgot. I totally apologize.
And unfortunately, as much
That's
as
on
you,
me. I'm so sorry.
As much as you and others tried to say, you got to be confident. You have to have optimism.
You'll be all right.
The 3 days in Atlanta was the story. And it told us exactly what was going to happen this weekend against the Padres. The Mets went 1-5 in playoff games. This season was a giant waste of time. And that's where we are.
Wow, a giant waste of time.
Isn't it? Wasn't it? When you think about it, when
I thought
you
about
win,
building steps, Evan. Step one is make the playoffs. Step two is advance.
Not with
the
a veteran
playoffs.
team. Not with a veteran. You want to say that about the Jets? Fine. Not with a veteran team.
Mm-hmm.
Not with a team that features two aces, quote unquote, who are in their mid or late 30s. It's not about steps. It's about winning now. And they failed. Yeah. And they failed in the biggest moments of the season. The 3 games in Atlanta, the 3 games at home against the Padres. And you can think about all the good moments. Oh, the comeback against the Phillies. That was great. It all means nothing.
Yeah, especially since the Phillies have advanced to the NLDS against Hotlanta. Listen, it stunk. It stunk with Scherzer. They gave you a nice little comeback on Saturday. And then last night, 42,000 people all pumped up, ready to go bonkers. And, I'll tell you this. I know you were at the game, so our perspectives will be a little different watching on TV versus you being there. So I'll be interested in what you have to say about it.
Well, and also, here's the other different perspective. Yeah. You're clapping and jovial. I'm pissed. So that's the other different perspective.
My football team won their first divisional game in 13 tries.
I'm thrilled about that, too. Trust me, my Sunday afternoon was fantastic, especially beating those dirty, disgusting, overhyped crybaby Dolphins.
Like, think about this.
I loved it.
Let's just say 90% of people at the Met game last night are either Giant or Jet fans. I recognize there's other fans, so I don't want to minimize that, but I'll make up a number, right? Everybody went to that game yesterday in a good mood. Giants do the 9:30 in the morning, the surprise win against the Packers, feeling really good about Danny Jones and Brian Dable, and of course Saquon, and Darius Slayton becomes a professional wide receiver again, and Aaron Rodgers, the mistakes he makes late. Awesome. Let's go into 1 o'clock. The New York Jets look closer for a while, like the Jets weren't going to do what they did, but to their credit, they did it. Yeah, it helps that Teddy Bridgewater gets knocked out by Saucerino on the first play of the game. Thompson comes in, no pocket presence. The game changes.
That's football.
And we take a W.
Too bad.
So 9:30, great. 1 o'clock, great. Now you guys who went to the game, mid-afternoon, start planning your day. What time are we leaving? Beat traffic, get in our seats.
Well, one other thing I want to add to this.
One
other thing I want to add to this that I don't know if anyone realized, but I certainly realized last night. I saw more Jet jerseys at Citi Field last night than I ever have. I think a lot of people pulled off the double dip.
Yeah,
maybe. A lot of. I spoke to 3 guys in particular who were like, "Yeah, just left MetLife Stadium. I'm here at Citi."
I think it's great.
A lot of people trying to pull off the double dip.
My point is that most people got there in a good mood, ready to cheer and yell their fannies off. And then now, this is where my question for you is, because I'm watching at home, and sometimes it doesn't pick it up right. 3rd inning, it was a morgue.
2nd inning.
2-0. Bang.
When Austin Nola hit that 2-run single, and it started before that, you're ahead of Hae-Sung Kim and Chris Bassett's nibbling. And, of course, you can't face Trent Grisham. The guy's Barry Bonds. But when Austin Nola on an 0-2 pitch hit that ground ball between 3rd and short, you could feel Citi Field die. And believe it or not.
So that came across on TV.
Oh, no, that was real.
Yeah.
That's not what happened on Friday. Even when Max Scherzer gave up the home run to Josh Bell, there were moments where the crowd believed and were trying to will the Mets back. But on Sunday night, when Austin Nola got that 2-run single, I'll tell you right now, I've been at every playoff game since the late 80s. That place died.
Yeah,
I can't blame my fellow Met fan. I will never do it because I died too. Because we all knew the outcome.
At 2-0?
Yeah.
In the 2nd inning?
Yeah.
You guys were done.
Well, Craig, let me ask you a question.
I'll give you an example. The only time, again, tell me if I'm wrong, the only time last night that you heard a perceptible cheer after that spot, and I'm not making this up, was when Buck Showalter went out and picked up Francisco Lindor's bat.
Yes.
What?
100%. Two things got the fans excited. Lindor, when he got hurt, Buck picks up the bat. Lindor stays in the game. Crowd's fired up for the rest of that at-bat. Spoiler alert, Lindor struck out. And the other time is when Buck came out to question Joe Musgrove's earwax.
Yeah, which, by the way, I know that, listen, you're on one side or the other side. I'm on the side of Buck Showalter. He did not embarrass himself. He did nothing wrong. The rules allow you to challenge it. His ear was kind of shiny, okay. And you're trying to do anything you can to change it up. You know, the Padres tried to do that to Bassett early on
and they did.
By stepping out of the box.
They did.
And they did. So Buck Showalter's desperate. Is it a desperate move? Yeah, I think that's a fair word. Is it embarrassing? No.
Here's how I'll easily change anyone's...
I assume you agree with me.
Of course. Here's how I'll change anyone's opinion who's on the other side. To the Yankee fans who are listening right now, and your day's about to come. You're about to have the playoffs.
Night, by the way, if you want more playoff baseball, you get it in the Bronx. Ba, 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 ba.
So, Yankee fans, if I told you you could go back into history and Game 3 against the Detroit Tigers in 06, Joe Torre could pop out of the dugout and tell the umpires, hey, can you check out Kenny Rogers for me? Something weird's going on. Would you not sign for that, Yankee fans?
Of course you would. The balls are scuffed.
In fact, I think one of the criticisms Joe Torre faced from many Yankee fans was, how come he didn't say anything? So what Buck Showalter did is what Joe should have done many years ago, and that's try anything. Now, my dad made a good point to me. He said, let me ask you something, son. We're getting our ass kicked. It's the 6th inning. Let's say they find something on Joe Musgrove's ear, and they throw him out of the game. What difference is it going to make?
Well, that's
Are they going to hit the Padre bullpen all of a sudden? Are these bats going to wake up? Probably not. With that said, you still have to try.
Here's the deal. You have to try. The flip side is your dad's dead on right. If you don't score any runs, let me stop. If you don't get any hits, let alone score any runs, the game it's over anyway. You're not going to win the game. It would have at least given you the platform to bitch and moan about being cheated like Yankee fans have done for the better part of a decade now.
Yankee fans may do that, not all, some. That doesn't make me feel better.
Well,
I'm sorry, it doesn't. It wouldn't make me feel better. We would still be losers and our season would still be over, whether Joe Musgrove was cheating or not. I appreciate that Buck tried. Why the hell not? Now, did he have something in his ear? Did he quickly wipe it off so the umpires couldn't see it? Maybe. I have no idea. Was his spin rate way up on every pitch? Yes. Is that proof he's cheating? Not really. The point is, my anger is not at Joe Musgrove. My anger is at this Met team. 1 through 26, with the exception of DeGrom and a lot of guys in the bullpen, they all came up small.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
DeGrom came up small in Atlanta, just not in the playoffs, to be fair.
He came up small in Oakland more specifically. Because even the Atlanta game.
3-0 lead, right?
Craig, even the Atlanta game, when you look back at it, 6 innings, 3 runs is not the end of the world.
No.
The problem is they couldn't hit. And 1 through 9, this lineup did nothing. Mark Canha didn't have a hit in this series. Lindor and Alonso weren't difference makers in this series.
I did think the Canha line drive to right center was probably the most deflating at-bat of the night. Because you have a man on base. If that ball goes to the wall, whether he scores or not, you got something cooking now. You've gotten to Musgrove at least a little bit, and now who knows what happens.
I agree, and guess who made that catch? Guess who made that freaking
Barry
play?
Bonds.
A guy who will now live in Met history as, Barry Bonds, Trent Grisham.
Yeah.
Trent Grisham, who hit 168 this season. Trent Grisham, who had 6 hits in September, to where the big controversy in San Diego was, how is this loser on our playoff roster? And yes, the same Trent Grisham who made a brutal error in the wild card game back in 2019. That guy morphed into an all-time Met killer for 3 games.
Well, I think here's the reality. While you went into it with a lot of hope and promise and the thought of, hey, we can flip the switch, the way we ended the season is not who we really are. Give us the day off. Let's go. We're at home. We're against San Diego, a team that we respect, but a team we feel we're better than because we've got DeGrom and Scherzer, and our guys are going to show up and hit the crap out of the ball. Didn't happen. So now, of course, you have to deal with the reality that we revert back to being a Yankee town, which kills all you guys. And I get that. And if there's a lot of douchey Yankee fans out there rubbing your noses in it, it's a little premature, though.
Be careful.
Because you haven't won a game yet this postseason. And you know what it's like to be eliminated in the wild card. But right now, we bury the Mets. Tomorrow we open up the story on the Yankees. And, of course, oh, you're funny. You are a bad person. You're
Really,
a
Big Mac?
bad person.
It took you 9 minutes into our show to just start saying, all right, Mets, let's sweep them away.
And here's the thing.
Throw them in the garbage.
A lot of people are asking me about you today. And I think it's a fair question.
What?
Does the Jet win? Can you compartmentalize?
Yes.
Does it temper at all the Met fiasco?
So it's a great question.
Because you're one guy that you're miserable here.
Yes.
I know you're thrilled over there.
Yes.
But do they like wash each other out?
It's a great question. So I want to take you back to last week because you asked me the same thing. The Mets had just been swept by the Braves, and the Jets had this tremendous victory against the Steelers. And as great as that win was, it was almost completely sucked away because of the Mets sweep at the hands of Atlanta. And oddly enough, with the Mets season ending last night, what I always look for as a sports fan is not to just move on instantly, but within a day or two, you start to think about the brighter things that are occurring. So usually for me, because the Jets always suck, it's hope in the Brooklyn Nets, which I have. That's a week and a half from now, and nobody cares outside of me and Keith. But the Jets give me hope. So last night, as my wife wanted a full debrief from the game and how I feel emotionally and reminded me we have a beautiful family and a beautiful house, which she's so right about, I looked at her and said, "Can I tell you something, baby?" And she said, "What?" I said, "Sauce Gardner is a stud." And she said, "Excuse me?" Oh, much more than a previous week, because what you look for as a sports fan in this town is what can I look forward to next?
Sure. How do I get over it? How do I get past it?
And the New York Jets being 3-2 helps you do that, which we never have. So, in a way, the Jet win yesterday was more important than the previous Jet win and more important than any Jet win they've had in a decade.
And I'll tell you
because
what.
it allows me as a fan to say, as annoyed and angry and depressed as I am about the Mets, oh my God, Craig, I may have a football team.
And that football team goes to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers, and the situation couldn't set up any worse, by the way. Jets off of their first division win in 14 games. Green Bay off the embarrassing loss to the Giants in London. Plenty of time to get to that later on this week. Right now, I think we just need to be here for you Met fans that either went to the game or obviously watched or listened to the game and deal with the reality that your team, frankly, and this is not overstating it, your team let you down.
They collapsed.
Because it's one thing. Listen, there's no good way to lose, an elimination game. So I heard that it's stupid. But when you get one hit in your own building, and I respect that Musgrove is like the San Diego legend, I guess. You were telling me earlier, through the first no-hitter in Padre history, they were telling the story about his dad out there who's paralyzed for a short amount of whatever, right? So, but he's not DeGrom, he's not Scherzer, he's not Yu Darvish, right? So I think it's one thing if you lose a 5-4 game and the other team just got one more hit. It sucks, but okay. When you get one hit in your own building against that particular guy, I don't know how you process it. I really don't.
Well, I think what you
I'm
do...
just glad I don't have to.
You may in a week. What you do is that you think about, okay, what does this team have to do to get better? And I think that part is a little depressing because the Mets go into an offseason in which 3 incredibly important players are pending free agents, and there's uncertainty about them. And so in a way, getting embarrassed in Game 3, being one hit in Game 3, and the offense being a major reason why this team failed should hopefully make it clear to Steve Cohen and Billy Epler about what this team needs to do. Besides keeping Diaz and DeGrom, which to me are huge priorities, they have to be better offensively. And so does that make it clearer for them and what they need to do this offseason? Hopefully so. And that's the one, I guess, saving grace you try to talk yourself into. That being that embarrassed in Game 3.
And that's the word. You got one hit.
Embarrassed.
In your own building. And listen, I know a lot of people are like, yo, come on, fans, you got to do better. The fans aren't responsible for a one-hit debacle.
What did you want the fans to do last night when the Mets didn't have a base runner till the 5th inning? There was nobody on base.
I have one criticism and only one criticism.
That they didn't sell out?
No, I'm not. They didn't?
They didn't. Wait till Tuesday.
All right, we'll get to that. All right, let me add that to my list of things to question. I will say this, if I may.
Yes.
I think it's great earlier this year that you guys adopted the dumb trumpet. I think it was fun. We enjoyed it. Diaz deserved it. He lived up to the billing. He's been money good all year long, right? When you're down 4-0 in a game in which you have a single hit and you bring him out, I even respect the fact it's his song. He comes out to his song. Felt a little out of place, to be honest. Down 4-0.
Right.
And, of course, giving up the 2 runs didn't help it after the fact. But do we have to do the entire thing? Do we need everybody out there with fake trumpets?
I agree. The fake trumpet thing was too much.
4-0 in an elimination game, right? You're being one hit.
You know who
and
you have
we're
to
doing
criticize?
the trumpets?
Craig, I can't criticize my fellow Met fans. You do what you got to do. Even though I wouldn't do it, you do what you got to do.
What?
My criticism falls at the most overrated mascot in the history of sports. Mr. Met, put the trumpet down. Mr. Met,
he's told to do it.
Well, you know what? Then tell your boss I'm not doing it. Refuse. Tell your boss, hey, this is tone deaf. I'm Mr. freaking Met. I'm embarrassed right now. I'm mad right now. I'm not playing a damn trumpet as my team's getting their ass kicked. I'm mad at Mr. Met.
Here's the good news. Now William Contreras owns the song.
He does.
So you're going to see a lot of it on TV.
And by the way,
next couple weeks.
What the hell are we supposed to do with that series? Braves, Phillies?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Atlanta better win that series. Atlanta better win that series because Philadelphia in an NLCS and the Eagles 5-0, I'm not prepared for it. I'm not. Emotionally,
No, I know.
I just can't handle it.
I know.
Yeah. I'm
Trust
not
me,
ready for
my
that.
DMs were filled this morning. For some reason, half of my DMs came from the city of Philadelphia.
I'm sure they
that
did.
are still mad at me for calling them a city of losers after the James Harden trade. And it's like, come on, guys. Really?
Short memories, Evan. All right, listen, we got lots to do today. We will do the football. What's that?
For Philly? Oh, don't do that.
Wow.
Don't do
Wow.
Don't do that.
Wow. Anyway, we'll do all the football, of course, throughout the day. So it's not just a negative-thon. And your take on the negativity of last night and the fact that the Mets don't just lose, but they go out meekly. Arguably their worst offensive game of the entire year.
Arguably.
And
They got one hit. They had two base runners.
And they saved it for an elimination game. Way to go, fellas. Ooh, ooh. Boy, that Starling Marte really made a difference. Coming to you live from the Town Fair.
He's not the guy I would pick on. He didn't do
Studios.
much in Game 2 and in Game 3. Did have 2 hits in Game 1.
Yeah.
It's everybody. I mean, literally, it is everybody.
I agree.
There's no one who should be saved from our anger in offensive ineptitude. Not a guy. All of them. They all failed. They all came up small. They all didn't hit when they needed to hit. Listen, the only guy who I think you could look at in this 3-game series and say, hey, that guy did their job is, Jacob deGrom.
As far as pitching in this series, yes.
As far as
DeGrom did his job.
everything in this series.
Yeah, I listen.
Everybody.
I'm with you.
Unless you want to include Seth Lugo in it. I mean,
Well,
literally, go up and down the list. Who did their job in this 3-game series?
At
Go
least
ahead.
Pete Alonso had a hit yesterday.
Great.
Nobody else can say that.
Great.
All right.